what I could take. When I began on this journey 30 years ago with the past life regressions, and then I began writing my books, I was given all that I could handle. You're being spoon-fed. The material I'm getting now, I would never have understood when I began 30 years ago. It had to be done gently and steadily. You have to be spoon-fed, one little piece of information at a time. Then when you digest that piece of information, you get more. And it just keeps going along like that until you can digest it. If you can't digest it, then you just wait until it's time, or you may stop and decide this is not for me. But you get little pieces as you go along. One example that was given to me just a few months ago, I had a man who came for a session, and he said one of the things he wanted to know was his purpose. This is the main thing, that question that I get from every client I have, and I've done thousands and thousands of clients. One of the main things they always want to know is, what is my purpose? The USA Today did a poll, and in that poll, they asked the normal people, I guess you would call them out there on the street. These are not the metaphysical people. They asked the normal people, everyday people, if you had access to a supreme power, what would you ask? The number one question they got in the poll was, why am I here and what am I supposed to be doing? So everyone wants to know that. What is their purpose? Why am I here? So I get this continually through every client that comes in. This man wanted to know this. Well, during the session, he was told that it was not time. And I tell people that sometimes it's not time for you to know what you're supposed to do. I said, suppose you were told you were supposed to be doing something with your life. It was 180 degrees from what you're doing now. It would be so totally different, so outrageous to you that you would say, oh no, that's the last thing I would ever want to do. Then you would put blocks in your way. You would sabotage yourself to where you wouldn't do it. And that is the reason why it's better that you don't know too soon. Now, when it's time, then you can find out. But this man, he was told it was not time. And they give a very interesting example. They say, he is where you were 20 years ago. He couldn't have understood his purpose or these things they are now, just like you couldn't understand it back then. They said, consider it like a baby. A baby has to begin with milk, then with cereal, then with strained carrots. You can't give a baby a 3-course steak dinner all at one time. It just won't happen. You have to take it step by step, very gently. Otherwise, it's too overwhelming. It just goes over your head, and you just say, I don't understand it, and you don't even try. Then it's a waste. Why? Why would you want to do that? They are much wiser than we can imagine. That's why they didn't give me the difficult information in the beginning. What I'm getting now, I still don't know if I can understand it, but I'm getting more and more, and I don't really try to understand a lot of it. I said my role in all of this is to be the reporter, the investigator, the researcher of lost knowledge. I try to get back knowledge that has been forgotten, lost, or never known in the first place. And that's what I try to write about and try to get out to the people, this kind of information. And often I don't understand it. I just do my job as a reporter, write about it, and let somebody else try to figure it out and to put it into place. So that's what my job is, to try to get this information. They have told me through many of my clients, they said, you will never have the answers to all of your questions. Some of them cannot be answered. They said some knowledge is as poison rather than medicine. That if we were to give you the knowledge at the wrong time or too soon or too much, it would have a detrimental effect on the person because they would not be able to handle it. It would be overwhelming. This is why it has to be done gently, safely, and easily to the person to give them what they can handle at that time in their life. So they said a lot of the questions, we will never be allowed to have it all. We cannot comprehend the entire story. It is just too big, too much. They said it's not the problem with the brain, it is the problem with the mind. The mind has no concepts for the things the way they really are. It cannot comprehend it because there's nothing there to hold on. There's nothing there to give an example. So in these cases, they said you will never understand it as long as you're alive. And many times during the sessions, they're trying to explain things. They will take the concepts and the vocabulary from the person I'm working with, and they will try to explain it to me as best they can. And they'll say, there isn't any concepts, there's no words, it's just impossible. Then I always ask them for some kind of an analogy, an example, or you might even say like a parable, some kind of an example that I can use. And when I do that, they will give me examples, but they said these are very poor representations of the way it really is. So I try to write my books in a way that people can understand and try to grasp what they're saying. Even if I don't understand it, I'm doing my job as a reporter and putting it down as simply as I can. Because some of these books, especially the Convoluted Universe series, I said are for people who want their minds bent like pretzels. If they want to think. My books are intended to make people think. Even if they don't agree with me, if they don't like what I write about, it's to make people think and ask questions. You will never find negativity in my books. I have just not found that. I have found the positive. I found the answers to many, many things because I am so full of questions. I have an insatiable curiosity. I want to know about everything. So I continue to ask more and more questions. But I know I'm not ever going to get it all, but this is what I do. And you may not agree with them, but I have not found the negativity, and I don't want to be in the negative. My work is in the light, and it is to help people realize what it's really all about. That everything is based on love, and this is what makes everything operate. The world, the universe, everything back to God, and God is love. This is what Jesus was trying to tell people. If there was love, there would be no violence in the world. There would be no wars or hatred. But they didn't understand. But I'm very much involved in history and the way it really was. So I'll be talking on some of my lectures here about the different information I've found as I go through this. Because I ask so many questions. This is what I want to know. And these are the things that I want to find out about. This was not what I intended to talk about today, but sometimes things have a way of going on their own, and I just go with it. But those of you out there, if you are interested in having private sessions, I used to do them when I was on the road and I was lecturing at different cities. And then it just got too much because I have such a huge waiting list for people. Because I was only in a city for a few days, I couldn't see more than a few people at a time. So I opened an office here in Huntsville, Arkansas, and I'm seeing clients here now when I'm home, because I do travel a lot, and I never know for sure when I'm going to be here, but my office knows. So if anyone is interested in a session, you can contact us through our website or through our email. The email is DECannon, DECANNON, @msn.com. And we'll try to work with you to set up a session if this is what you want. Also, if anyone is interested in taking my classes, I am teaching my unique technique of hypnosis that I've developed myself. It is something I've developed that you can contact the subconscious mind directly, and you can get huge amounts of information. And I am teaching this class now, and it's a 3-day class. We are listing these things on our website under schedules. If you check under schedules on our website, you'll see everywhere I'm going to be and where the classes are going to be. If you're interested in the class, you can also contact us either through our website or with D.E. Cannon, CANNON, @msn.com. The ones who take the class must be qualified hypnotists. I don't start at the beginning. I don't go through the basics. I want people to at least have the basic knowledge of hypnosis before they can understand what I am teaching. And I want them to at least be working with people for a year. I have taught some people who work with imagery. This is part of their basic work when they deals with imagery and the trance-like levels. If this is what you do, you can contact us. We can see if you are qualified. But if you're interested in the class, you can contact us, and we'll give you more information about that. Anyone who's interested in the books or any more information about us, you can contact us with our 1-800 number, 1-800-935-0045, 1-800-935-0045. Or you can contact us on our website, or you can find out everything about all the books and everything on the website. The website is www.ozarkmountain. The name of my company is Ozark Mountain Publishing. So the website is abbreviated OZARKMT.com, the abbreviation for mountain. OZARKMT.com. Right, and I think that's all we're going to have time for today. But if you want any information about the sessions, the classes, or the books, these are the 3 ways you can contact us. All right.
You have been listening to BBS Radio, a blogandservice.com production and a service to others' endeavor. Thank you very much for tuning into our radio program, and we wish you much peace and joy on your journey.